It's time to get up close and personal with Nike's first ever high top basketball shoe, the Blazer. This shoe first came out in 1972, which was the very first year of Nike. The shoes were named after the Portland Trail Blazers, Portland's NBA team that got started just a couple years before Nike in 1970. Now, this pair that you're looking at is very, very special. It's a very early example of the Nike Blazer. It's either from 1972 or 1973. Now, very early Nikes like this one don't have any writing inside of them specifying the size or the year that it was made. The reason we know they're from 72 or 73 is because when you look at the tongue, you can see that cursive lowercase Nike font on the swoosh, and you'll notice that there's no registered trademark on there. In very early 1974, Nike registered their name and brand as a trademark, and there's a little R on there for 1974, 75, 76, and shoes afterwards. But the early ones like this from 72 or 73 have no registered trademark. Check out that foam on the inside there. Oftentimes it'll deteriorate over time, but these have been kept up in perfect shape. And when you look inside here, you'll see that it says that these shoes were made in Japan. Now, the process that it took to make these really durable Blazers took a vulcanization process where they would heat up rubber to make it durable enough to be the outsole of a basketball shoe. Now, you probably recognize this pattern. It's also on Bruins, All Courts, a whole bunch of shoes, even to this day. So this tread pattern has stood the test of time for sure. And it all got started here way back in 1972 with the Blazer. So the Blazer was the first ever high top. The Bruin is the first ever low top. And I said it before, they share the same soles. Now the Blazer really transcended just the game of basketball and the basketball courts. And that's because they were made in suede in all different colors, and people used to wear them off the court, breakdancing and things like that. And really before the Air Force One and before the Dunk, the Blazer was the iconic shoe of the 70s that people used to express themselves. You gotta love this really early example, white with black leather. Have a look at those swooshes. They really stand out to me. It's what's known as the fat belly swoosh. Look at that right there. It was designed by Carolyn Davidson. She was a designer and a friend of Phil Knight. He paid her $2 an hour, took her 17 and a half hours. She made a bunch of different variations on the check mark. Phil Knight didn't really love the swoosh at first. Actually, it was made to look like the wings of the Greek goddess of victory. Remember that Nike is a mythological Greek goddess of victory, and that swoosh is supposed to represent the wings. Phil didn't love the swoosh. He didn't even love the name Nike at first. He said that they would grow on him, and I'm sure they have by now. Anyway, there you have it. A very, very early example of a Nike basketball shoe. A very early example of the swoosh. You gotta love it.